This is Wilfred Owen's poem, Dulce et Decorum Est. It's arguably one of the most famous World War One poems that we're reading. It starts like Wilfred Owen's other poem, The Parable of the Old Man and the Young, in media res, in the middle of things. And he begins with these soldiers who are fatigued and tired and trudging across the Western Front. He starts bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags. We cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. And right there, I'd point out he's using similes to give you the sense that these young men through the war have been transformed from young and vital into sort of like old beggars under sacks, and that they're coughing like hags, like old women. They don't represent this sort of youth that you would expect them to. He says, men marched asleep, many had lost their boots. And he's using alliteration there to give the sense of the repetition that men and marched. That's alliteration when that beginning consonant repeats itself. And they limp on, bloodshot, all went lame, all blind. They're drunk with fatigue. They don't even notice the gas shells that are coming in behind them. And the second stanza quickly enlivens with more exclamations and excitement as they realize that the gas is coming towards them and they have to get their masks on quickly. Gas, gas, quick, boys. And one man is left out. Someone was still yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime, so that he couldn't quickly get the gas mask on. And then you shift to the poetic persona's perspective, saying, dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. And again, that's a metaphor. He's drowning in the gas, right? He's not literally drowning. And he dances back and forth between what is dreaming and what is reality, because everything has become so foggy in what he's seeing. But he's also reflecting back on this. And he says, in all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. The repetition of those gerunds, those ing words, guttering, choking, drowning, gives you the sense that he can't help this man. And then he turns to the reader and he wants the reader to think about, what would it be like for you to follow behind, to see this man writhing in pain, dying from the chemicals, and in the way his skin is falling away from his face and his lungs are being taken over. And you get this very medical kind of description of what happens to the body in light of the chemical warfare. And then he says, my friend, you would not tell. So the reader is like his friend, with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory, the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. Sweet and noble is it to die for one's country? And he's asking the question, is it sweet and noble, or is there something else happening when we ask this young generation to die for a nation or for nationalism?